entscheidender Tag des Happy Bad German Darts Masters 2017. Er kommt aus Perth. Er war der 7. Spieler in der Geschichte, der bei der PDC-Weltmeisterschaft einen neuen Darter zustande brachte. Die aktuelle Nummer 29 der Welt. Aus Down Under, the original K.Anderson! K.Anderson tritt an gegen den erfolgreichsten Spieler aus dem deutschsprachigen Raum überhaupt in der Sportart Darts. Der Mann, der ein tolles Jahr 2016 gespielt hat. Er hat das Turnier von Riesa gewonnen. Er stand im Finale der European Darts Championship. Er ist die aktuelle Nummer 9 der Welt. Aus Wien, the gentle Suljovic. Best of 11 Legs heißt auch die Distanz an diesem Entscheidungstag, einschließlich des Finals. Wer 6 Legs gewinnt, zieht also in das Viertelfinale ein. Und Caller dieser ersten Partie ist George Noble.
We are underway. Mondays on the European Tour are rare, but Mondays are never mundane. If recent history is anything to go by, then we should be in for an absolute cracker over the next 10 hours or so here. In Munich 12 months ago, we saw the first of last year's 3 Euro Tour finals between Michael van Gerwen and Peter Wright. And 2 years ago on Easter Monday, we witnessed John Henderson almost pull off the unthinkable. Darts fans, you're in for a treat today. 16 players left standing in the German Darts Masters this weekend, including 8 European Tour champions, past and present. One of them is throwing on stage right now. Mensur Suljovic kicking things off against a man who last year enjoyed his most successful season in the PDC, reaching the quarters of 4 tournaments on the telly. Chris Murphy alongside me for this opener. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon, Rob. And yes, you do wonder if Michael van Gerwen and Peter Wright are on a collision course yet again, as they were 3 weeks ago in Hildesheim when Wright won the first European Tour title of 2017.
Call to throw first. Game on.
They're the top 2 seeds, but Mensur Suljovic is seed number 3. And his victory in the
100.
International Darts Open in September was his first PDC title. He went on to make 3 further finals in the following couple of months, losing all of them to Michael van Gerwen. That included the kind of finals of the European Tour, the European Championship, now that this is the only method of
42.
qualifying for that event. But he hasn't got a fantastic record. In fact, he's got a shocking record against K.Anderson. Yeah. Never beaten him.
4-0. All last year, I think, as well. 3 on the Pro Tour. As Anderson opens with the first 180. 1 on the European Tour last year as well in Austria, second round. It was 6-5. And who would bet against a similar outcome today? I think this has all the ingredients of a match that could well go the distance. Certainly that's what happened to Mensur yesterday. What a battle he came through in his opening match against Jamie Lewis.
64.
Yeah, Mensur having to survive 4 missed match darts by Jamie Lewis. He would have lost 6-3 if Lewis had finished a job then, but Mensur won the last 3 legs of the match.
Well, he never led in that match. He was
2-0
down, 3-1 down, 4-2 down, 5-3 down, won the last 3 legs, and as you say, the turning point with Lewis missing those 4 match darts at 8-8 and 4-4, as Anderson looks at a big check out here, but it's not to be, but he will return.
133.
Yeah, good start from Kyle. He's got that perfect record against Suljovic, and that European Tour run that you mentioned was his best run. He beat Mensur. He went on to beat Michael van Gerwen before losing to Phil Taylor in the semi-finals.
Yeah, normally seeing off Mensur and van Gerwen, that would be enough.
In the first leg.
But that's more than enough for Anderson to win the first leg.
He ran Phil Taylor close as well, and yeah, as you said, Mensur and Michael, apart from Peter Wright, have been the main men of the European Tour. Just unlucky for Kyle that Phil Taylor decided to turn up.
Yeah, it was the only one he did turn up for. He bagged enough prize money to secure his place in the European Championship.
Yeah, real smash and grab from Phil Taylor.
140.
The noises coming out of the Taylor camp are that he won't be tempted to do such a thing this year, but you never know as the deadline for qualification draws nearer.
140.
Just the one maximum yesterday for Mensur Suljovic. He's not a player renowned for rat-tat-tatting the 180s in.
60.
But certainly he won't want a scare like he did yesterday, but I think he will be in for a battle here against a player who also had a bit of a battle on his opening day against Ronnie Baxter. 6-5 the score in that one. 6-4 yesterday against
45.
Steve West, slightly more comfortable. The averages was much improved. 4 180s as well.
Yeah, it was a much better performance from K.Anderson yesterday. He had revealed before this tournament that he had some laser surgery on his eyes to remove a blood clot that he was struggling with. This kind of spot had appeared in his vision and he didn't know where it had come from, and well, it is a worrying thing, isn't it? Something like that. But he's had it dealt with. And
60. All you recall, 161.
So chance of a break here for Anderson. It's a big one, but he's more than capable of taking it out, isn't he? Just look at this for K.Anderson. Bullseye.
136.
Well, K.Anderson having a shot at a big finish. Menso Suljovic.
156.
Is a favourite part of his game. Checking out.
Barney would love this sort of thing, but Mensah can't take it in. In fact, he'll be
44.
struggling to get down to a ton here, and he's not with that final dart, finding the single 19. So Anderson for a 2-0 lead. He's got 2 cracks at double 8s. Double 4.
17.
Well, he might just have opened the door.
So you recall 112.
1-1-2. For the first ton plus checkout of the day, and it's on. Down then for double 16 for parity.
80. All you require 8.
Yeah, so often we see Mensah flapping his arms like that after a missed dart at a double, and it's just let Anderson back in. That was some way inside, so double 2 instead. Not a problem for K.Anderson in the end. It's a 17 dart break.
The leg call to throw first. Game on.
Just worthy of mention, Rob, that K.Anderson, you may have noticed, is wearing a black armband today. That's in memory of Alan Fuller Sr., a darts legend in Australia who sadly passed away yesterday. He's been something of an inspiration for K.Anderson. He posted on his Facebook this morning, and something of a mentor for Simon Whitlock as well in the early days, and Simon will be following suit and paying his respect to Al Fuller Sr. as well.
Nice touch, nice gesture
100.
from Anderson, recognising those who came before him. As I said at the outset, sorry.
140.
No, just going to mention Menso Suljovic. He's ranked 8th in the world at the moment, Menso, largely thanks to his exploits on the European Tour and in the European Championship last year. Now, we were just looking at the rankings before this match, weren't we, Rob?
100.
If he is to go on and claim his 2nd title this weekend, he'd go ahead of Phil Taylor in the world rankings. Who'd have thought that a year ago?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big incentive for him.
105.
As well as the honour and prestige of another European Tour title. He'd become a multiple European Tour champion. That's something to stick on your CV. £25,000 to boot as well.
That also applies
140.
to Bremer van Barneveld if he were to go all the way this weekend. Now then, Mensah had a shot at this earlier on, but K.Anderson's done rather better than he did.
Yeah, he's down to double 8 again. He had problems with double 8 before, but Suljovic has to take out 161, and he won't. So Anderson on the brink here of a 3-0 lead.
105. All you require 16.
Suljovic will be hoping he returns, but he won't, because Anderson this time takes double 8 out at the first time of asking.
Game on.
And so far so good for the Australian, the original, and the best at the moment as well. There we see, we talked about his averages improving
100.
round upon round, and it's taken another step up in trip today as well. 102.4, just the 1 ton plus average yesterday. The day belonged to Michael van Gerwen.
57.
110 in his 6-1 demolition of John Michael. 75% on his doubles as well yesterday. MVG, he was fairly ruthless. I think he had the biggest first 9 average as well, which is not too surprising. Anderson's first 9 at the moment averaging just over 108.5.
60.
There you see, Mensa Suljovic has only had 1 dart at double in this match. That was for a 1-1-2 checkout in the second leg, and K.Anderson got the break. And the terrible record he's got against Kyle is looking set to continue. He must be sick of the sight of him.
100. So you recall 121.
Yeah, 4-0 in the head-to-heads. Might not be 4-0 in the scoreline here, though, because Suljovic is in pole position to gobble this up.
44.
That's a couple of times now he's been on a finish and run in a lacklustre visit. And he'd have been hoping to be on
92.
a much smaller target than 77 from
77.
121, but he's going to have 6 starts if needed, so no dramas. 18 for tops.
Game short to the full flag, Mr. Suljovic.
Well, he needed that.
To the goal to throw first.
It's
Game
a
on.
leg on his throw, so he's still got plenty of inroads to make here. Made the point at the outset of this match that Anderson enjoyed his most successful season in the PDC.
129.
Last year made the quarterfinals of the European Championship, the UK Open, the World Series event in Sydney, and also the World Cup of Darts alongside Simon Whitlock. But who knows, it could have been much better towards the end of the year. He had to pull out of the Players' Championship finals, and of course the big one at Ali Pali as well, after failing to obtain the necessary visa clearance. But that's behind him now, and he's looking to build on his return. And he's looking to build a bit of a cushion here as well, Chris.
Yeah, it was a real shame for K.Anderson, the missing out due to visa problems. He missed his biggest payday of the year at a time when he was playing his best darts, and it has taken some getting over. It's a real setback for K.Anderson, but the way that darts is now, with the calendar, that there's always another tournament just around the corner, and certainly now we're in a run of, I think, 7 weekends in a row of...
Well, he returned to action in the UK Open qualifiers, 6 of those at the start of the year. Made the last 8 in a couple of those as well, so it didn't take him long to get going and find his feet again. But as you say, the opportunities come thick and fast.
140.
Most players will leave tomorrow, Tuesday, and then, of course, they'll be pretty much involved next weekend as well on the European Tour. Premier League coming up on Thursday as well for the elite.
Yeah, then after that, the Players' Championship weekend in Wigan, and then another European Tour event. So
in Sindelfingen.
It's all happening. Now is Mensur Suljovic going to get this game happening and get back into it with a break? 9.
Well, he likes that corner of the board. He prefers the one next door.
78.
But he's missed 9 here.
All you require 84.
Lovely first dart. 12 then for Anderson to extend his cushion here. 6 instead, and that too is just inside the wire.
78.
And Suljovic will return
So you require 80.
with another opportunity to break.
Could be awkward. Oh, he's found the corner. Yeah, he didn't want to go underneath that dart because it looked like it could deflect into the big 9.
Yeah, the shadow was slightly deceptive there as well, but he's just steered it through, guided it like a missile into that corner. Winner of this to face either Jeffrey de Graaf or Jelle Klaassen, who meet next. We follow the draw bracket, essentially, as far as the lineup is concerned. It's nice and easy for you to follow, and it's nice and easy for Mensur Suljovic at the start of this 6th leg as well. He's opened up with a ton 80. Can Anderson do likewise? Yes, he can. Brilliant stuff from both.
Well, it's certainly caught light now. Mensur Suljovic has raised his game, and K.Anderson making sure that he keeps up his high level of performance as well. A 180 met in kind by the Australian against the Austrian.
Yeah, it's just turning into a really good match, this now.
134.
Certainly his averages tickling the 100 mark. There we see, above the 100 mark.
Suljovic's first 9 averages really kicked on as well.
60.
So he's getting himself into the frame much easier than he did early on when he found himself 3-0 down.
60. Mensur Suljovic 121.
Similar finishes in front of them. Mensur Suljovic, his plan is to deny K.Anderson a shot, and that's a very good start.
Treble 11. Would have left double 14, but instead he's looking at the bullseye.
96.
Well.
Kyle may get a shot of the bull himself. Needs to find treble 19 to do so, and hasn't, so Suljovic will be back
59.
to cancel out
25.
a 3-leg lead that Anderson had.
Agony goes on here for Suljovic.
All you require 68.
Anderson steps up. 2 more darts in hand. 1 more dart in hand at double 16, and it's a check out of 68.
K.Anderson.
And it's a break back, and he leads 4-2.
7th leg Kyle to throw first. Game on.
Suljovic will be kicking himself here, but he can't afford to dwell on that too much longer.
Yeah, missed 1 dart at double when he was broken in the 2nd leg, and 3 darts then when he was broken in the 6th.
96.
Have to say, though, crumbs of comfort here for Suljovic. Mentioned yesterday he was 2-0 down, 3-1 down, 4-2 down against Jamie Lewis. And exactly the same today. 2-0 down, 3-1 down, and 4-2 down. So he's dug himself out of a hole before, and he's showing signs already in this leg that he could break back once again, maybe.
But he's rallying. That's 2 legs in a row. He's kicked off with a max. Needs a treble, though. Oh,
45.
can't follow it.
Needed a lot more than that. Anderson with a reprieve here.
Mensah's form at the very beginning of this year wasn't fantastic. In fact, he
55.
didn't play in any of the UK Open qualifiers because of problems at home with the health of his partner. He had to deal with that. He's then felt his way back in on the Players' Championship. Didn't really do any damage in the first 4. But then he got to the quarterfinals in Hildesheim in the last European Tour event. And since then he's reached another couple of quarterfinals, converted 1 into a semi-final. So he's really starting to make that surge that he did last year again.
100.
Slow start this year, but he's beginning to prosper.
Well, Anderson will feel that he should be in a much better position than he is. Okay, he's on a finish of 110 with
100.
Suljovic trimming that one down, but Suljovic might well fancy his chances here.
Well, this could be a match winner, effectively. Double 16. Oh, what a shot from K.Anderson. Suljovic waiting on 36 to break back, but K.Anderson now is 1 leg away, and Suljovic at the point of no return. Yeah. 4 straight legs needed.
There was just that point in that leg where Suljovic thought he may have had the ascendancy, the upper hand, because Anderson was on 265 and he needed treble 20 to get down to the 170 finish. That passed him by, but he still recovered well and still 100. Made up the ground. Just thought he might have lost himself 1 opportunity, but he certainly made the most of it. That was a very, very effective way to finish things off, and it just has knocked a bit of stuffing out of Mensah Suljovic, but he's not done with just yet.
3 180s apiece. This on the Suljovic throw.
93.
Still needs to break a couple of times if he's going to go on and win this match.
140.
Another one will leave a finish.
138. Mensah required 99.
Very nicely done. Now he is down to a big finish, but Mensah Suljovic here is looking at double 16 for a 5-3 scoreline, and it's not going to be.
All you require 170.
Well, it's a doubling that we're not used to seeing from Mensah Suljovic. And hang on a minute, K.Anderson could win it with the biggest finish of them all. Oh, he's just missed the bullseye.
45. Mensah, you require 32.
A 170 checkout to seal the deal would have been very, very special indeed, as it is. Can Suljovic find double 16 here to force the match into another leg, a 9th leg? 16. No, he can't.
Kyle, you require.
Well, that's 10 darts at double that Suljovic has missed.
Maybe we will not go into an 8th leg after all.
That is more than that, it's 12.
Double 8 and double 4. Biding his time and biding his time.
And the match
to good effect as well. K.Anderson, in the end, a very emphatic winner. 6 legs to 2. He's beaten Mensah Suljovic. Suljovic will look back on the missed opportunities, but Anderson, you have to say, was at times very, very ruthless indeed. Missed opportunities for Suljovic, but Anderson won't care 1 jot about that. He is through to the quarterfinals of the German Darts Masters here in Jena, where he will face either Jeffrey de Graaf or Jelle Klaassen, who are on stage next.
Congratulations, Kyle. It's just amazing. You played him the 5th time. It was the 5th win for you. Why?
I don't know. It's just I'm good mates with Mensa. I know that Mensa's a quality player. I've got to play well to beat Mensa, and today was special. There's a couple of guys back home that passed away last night, so you know, all to them, missing guys, and they're good supporters of mine. So yeah.
And the slow rhythm doesn't bother you, obviously.
No, I used to play slow before I made PDC, and I know how to play slow. So, and to be honest, Mensa isn't as slow as some other guys on the tour. So Mensa's got quite a rhythm, and once he gets in that rhythm, he can play.
And now it's getting interesting. You're reaching the quarters, I think, for the third or the fourth time on the European Tour.
I think it's the third time, or maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm just here to play darts and just get as far as I can.
See you later again. Thank you very much. K.Anderson. Er sagt, er weiß auch nicht, woran das liegt, dass er gegen Mensur immer so ein gutes Match spielt. Die beiden kennen sich gut, haben das gleiche Management, trainieren auch häufig miteinander. Und er sagt, er hat auch heute gar nicht so langsam gespielt, wie er das eine Zeit lang getan hat. Er hat damit keine Probleme, hat selber noch zu BDO-Zeiten ein bisschen langsameren Rhythmus an den Tag gelegt. Inzwischen spielt er den wir gerade gesehen haben. Und er steht zum dritten Mal im Viertelfinale eines European Tour Events. K.Anderson. Und damit kommen wir gleich zu Match Nummer 2. Jeffrey de Graaf, das ist ein niederländisches Duell, trifft auf Jelle Klaassen. Bis gleich.